Hey y'all, let me turn off my AC so y'all can hear me. It's kind of trying to, maybe I need to be all the way back for me. This is my first time going live in the car. It's been a while since I've been live, but I missed y'all guys. And I wanted to do this video because I just been called to do so. I was just in I guess like you could say like a little Mexican market where they sell like fruits and veggies and stuff like that. And I started to think about like, hey, Helito to the chat. I started thinking about, my Mexican heritage and how, some people would identify me as like Afro-Mexican, based on it. And I just started like thinking, we are often told like we don't belong in spaces, especially if you are like complexion or darker. We're often told that we can only be in a certain demographic, and if we don't align or agree to be boxed and graphic, we hate ourselves, we don't know ourselves, we're self-hating Africans, all this other stuff. But really, we have every right to walk in our power, in our ancestral power. We have every right to not only claim our heritage, but embrace heritage as indigenous people. And it doesn't matter if you claim to be indigenous to Mexico, to the United States territories, or Africa, Europe, whatever. You have every right to embrace your ancestral heritage. And being in America and growing up here, we're not really allowed to really be ourselves. We're not allowed to embrace the different cultures that we come from. There are a lot of people that are multicultural, they're multiracial, and yet if you don't look like what people suspect a mixed person to be, or someone that's multicultural to be, meaning if you don't look closer to white, they're always going to shun you. I'm from America. I'm from America. I'm American, baby. So I'm making this video to tell y'all guys, just rest in your power. Rest in your power. Don't allow people to box you in, because that's what they want. Especially when you are considered to be attractive. You just have more ancestral wisdom and knowledge about the culture or cultures you come from. Because people are going to be like, oh, well, you shouldn't be identifying with that. Oh, well, you're lying about who you say you are. No, you don't really know what you're talking about. But yet, I notice, especially for me, I can tell y'all guys something, and it would be so many people saying, oh, no, that's not right. They, like, you're lying, you're lying. But then those same people turn around and say the very thing that they said I was lying about, and now putting it as the gospel truth. And that just let me know that people don't want me to speak the truth. Okay? And sometimes it just really doesn't matter what you say. If people don't like you, they're going to try to dismiss you. They're going to try to purposely not hear what what you're trying to tell them. So you have to be mentally strong enough against the criticism. You have to be able to really walk in your power. because people are always going to try and knock you down. When it comes to genealogy research, it's inevitable that you're going to go through a brick wall in your genealogy research. It's the inevitable, because of how people in this country us to know who we are. They said that we, you know, were incapable of reading and writing, but yet they had to make laws to keep us away from reading and writing. So if we're so incompetent to do that from the get-go, why make laws trying to keep us away from it? Everybody knows our power, but a lot of our people don't. They don't understand the power that they have within. They don't understand the value that they have. They don't understand just the innate wisdom that they have within. And a lot of people seek that. They seek the power, the wisdom that we have naturally. So when you know yourself and when you are prideful of who you come from and you walk with your head held high, people look at you like, oh, who did this person think that they are? Like they're not better than me. I need to knock them off their pedestal. And that's how a lot of people think. They think that when you are comfortable within yourself, they'd be like, I gotta figure out a way to knock this person off their pedestal. I gotta figure out how to knock them off their game so they doubt themselves. And this is why it's important to be confident within yourself. I was in there in that supermarket, I didn't feel out of place because I already know about my heritage. It others that felt like they have to gatekeep me for something that I'm already born into. And we see this with a lot of indigenous nations. They want to keep the freedmen out. They don't want to share the wealth with the freedmen. They don't want to extend a hand to the Black Indians. So they will say things, oh, you're just a pretendian. We don't owe you nothing. They will say all these negative things, but then when they're in trouble, who do they look for? And it's so funny because on TikTok right now, we see a lot of Hispanic Mexicans on complaining that the Black community won't stand behind them. They're mad that Black people are not putting their lives on the line and protesting for them with this whole mass deportation thing going. It is a lot of Hispanic Mexicans, and I'm using that term because that's what a lot of people identify as. We already know Hispanic is not a real race, but a lot of people identify as Hispanic, and even Latino is not a real race either. But a lot of people from that demographic identify as such. But however, the same people claiming to be Hispanic and Latino, people claiming to be indigenous to this land too, and say, oh, well, all of this is Indian land, there shouldn't be borders, because this is our land and blah, blah, blah. And come into our spaces and say that we're complaining as indigenous people. And now on TikTok saying, oh, well, the Black people are not standing up for us, when they made it their mission to knock Black, indigenous, and dark-skinned indigenous people off their pedestal, which they can never do. And so it's just a lot of hypocrisy going on right now. But I'm making this video to remind you guys, don't let these people knock you off your pedestal. Don't get off your pedestal to get up there. Because a lot of the people We're claiming, and when I say people, I'm talking about Hispanics, once upon a time ago, but not that long ago, they identified as white. They identified as white, but now they're saying that they're indigenous. Enjoyed the privileges of being identified as whiteness and not saying indigenous. And then you also have the ones that be like, oh, well, even though I do claim to be indigenous, I should still be identified with white because, I'm a white or whatever. And I do want to tell y'all guys, keep in mind, a lot of the Hispanics and Latinos are heavily mixed with white people. They mix white people too. So we got to keep that in mind. A lot of them are white. That's why a lot of them are white passing. But they be trying to gatekeep indigenous identity too. So they sit there and claim that they are indigenous and then get mad about being deported. And I also want to mention this too, because a lot of the Latinos do come from us too. They have just been the result of breeding out the Indian, basically. When you mix so much with white people, that's what happens. You get Latinos. And I remember it was this Hispanic lady I used to work with, and she would occasionally talk about how her grandmother was a black woman. And then she would say that she identifies as sometimes. And, with me, I don't really care about racial classifications, but I notice when you claim them. Because I don't care for terms to begin with, but I peep game, baby. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They love randomly bring it up. Smile and just laugh. Because it's so funny when people were trying to knock us off of our pedestal. They were like, oh, well, you can't be indigenous. You're African. Anytime when we talk our indigenous identity, they start talking about Africa. And when nobody had even brought up Africa, they think that just because you can have this hair texture and tone, that automatically means someone is African. And it doesn't. It doesn't. And this is why I also get so many of them. Not just, the Latino, trolls and the napkins, people that are brainwashed like them. They like to come over on my page and say, oh, well, y'all, I don't know why y'all looking up, your genealogy because y'all just African. Y'all just self-hating Africans and blah, blah, blah. They do that because they don't want us to look into our genealogy. They don't want us to learn about American history the way that we need to learn. I spent years on my book discussing American genealogy, which, by the way, you can get on Amazon. They want to discredit American history because they don't want us to look into it. They don't want us to look at the people that identified as white and see how they exclude us. They don't want us to realize that many people were switched up on us. And I don't identify as black or black indigenous, but I always notice how people treat those that I share a skin tone with and hair texture with. I keep notes of that. That's why I have mental notes of people join in on others trying to drag us and drag, people that identify as black and black indigenous, because I already know what that is. They just hoping that we don't. And it's so crazy because, there are, people of the black demographic that join in on, the mixed white natives and, the white Latinos, mixed white Latinos. They always want to join in on the conversations about how they think we are self-hating. They always want to co-sign on their hatred towards us. They always want to be in the comic section egging these people on to call us the N-words, to talk mad crazy about us, not realizing that you are helping the enemy, or should I say enemies, keep the demographic you come from and those adjacent from learning the truth. That's really what it is. A lot of people are jealous of us. We did the work, we put in the work, and now we know more about our ancestry than they do. They mad, y'all. They so mad. They so angry. I'm trying to charge up my phone because that's 17%. Yeah, they mad. And I mean, I get it. Feelings of resentment, anger, frustration when it comes to genealogy research is valid. Feelings are valid, but when you make it your mission to hate on others that did the work, that did the research to learn about who they come from, it's hater vibes. And not even like the type of hater vibes where you just hate someone because they're horrible. You just hate on someone because you want to be where they're at in life when it comes to their confidence in their ancestry. And because you can't get there yet, because you haven't put in the work yet, you hating. Hold on, let me read some of these comments because y'all blowing it up. Y'all showing me some love. I love it. Okay. Clothes you're alive and go to the market and buy clothes and wear that. I don't even think they even have clothes in there. I didn't even check it out. Oh, look. Oh. We already got one on here. So angry. So angry. People don't know. Like, when people show me hate, I think it's so cute. It's like, oh, you so mad. The live is lagging. My bad. I don't know who this person is, but I don't deal with ignorance, so you gotta go. Hee hee hee. Yep, lost in your own lies. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I've been embracing my natural hair more. I have not worn wigs since the beginning of this year. And I am thinking about like dyeing my hair because I want to do something different. So y'all probably will see me with a wig soon. But it's just because I want to see how the hair color looks on me before I actually dye my hair. I don't want to dye my hair and I don't like it. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to wear my natural hair no more, because you can't like really dye your hair back to back. Like, you got to let some time go by before you can dye it again. And when I say time, I mean like months, maybe 6 months the minimum, maybe. I don't know. I, not a beautician, but yeah. So, and right here in Austin, it's like, it's actually sprinkle. It's sprinkling right now. So anytime when I do try to get my brush, my blow dryer, and try like to brush it, because I can get it like pretty straight, once I come outside, it just poof. So I'm not even worried about it. I like my hair, so it's all good. No, 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 no. Yes, yes, I am Choctaw too. Yes. Okay, so I caught up on the comments. So yes, for my gym go getters out there, you have to be secure with yourself, because a lot of people that are prejudiced towards us, they don't want us to be happy. They don't want to see us happy. They don't see us thriving. Okay, and let me tell y'all something, because just like that troll, I had to get up out of here. People like that troll have pure hatred in their hearts, and they try to hide behind exposing pretendians, aka targeting darker skinned indigenous people, as a way to hide that hatred within themselves. So I can't listen to what they be talking about, because I already know people try to say that I'm hateful because I call out the atrocities the napkins committed against my people. They'd be like, oh, you're so hateful towards whites. No, I'm just not booty kissing them like you do. And no amount of gas going to help with that. People want you to kiss pale people booty so bad. They want you to just be on your knees for them. Mouth wide open. Gawk, gawk, gawk. 3,000. Rolling down your chin and your neck and your tatas. Just all for them on your knees. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for people. Just so their feelings don't get hurt. And also, I want to notice this too, because I mentioned this on TikTok last night too. Y'all notice how the male monster warriors are very quiet since the orange man has been all this, oh, don't hate white people, don't hate the snow bunnies, don't hate the breads and the chats. White is right. You're just being hateful towards white people. They're quiet. All those mixed white people and the mixed people and the self-hating, you melanated Americans, they're very, very quiet. And if they're not quiet, they over here targets. They over here got their eyes on us. They're not promoting whiteness like they been. It's kind of like when our people was like, you know what, I'm not fighting any more people's battle, I'm not protesting, I'm not doing none of that. Especially when it comes to the black and black indigenous women and indigenous women, darker skin indigenous. All of a sudden now people are not promoting whiteness anymore. Now all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, you know, white people, they just be doing the most. Yeah, oh my God, like yeah, like no, like black indigenous is beautiful. I don't know, like, oh my God, like I just had no idea. They think we born today. A lot of people know that they are on their last little grain of rice with us. Oh, they know. I've never been the type to protest, even vote, but I'm way more relaxed now. I don't care other people's issues before mine. I'm really like in my selfish girl area. I'm like era. I'm in my selfish girl era. So I'm not bending over backwards for, and haven't done so in a long time. And now folks, they see that, you know, me and my sisters are relaxing. We resting. I pretty much always been the type to rest in my femininity, but my ladies are definitely like starting to really rest in their feminine energy, and I love that. I love that because now the people that waited for us something, that waited for my sisters to get up and fight, they scrambling. They don't know what to do. They worried. They sweating because they're like, man, the women ain't fighting out there no more. They're not out there protesting. What do we do? Because see, this is the pipeline. They want to bully us into claiming colonial terms like black. They want us to identify as an African. So when they start, well, not like they've been doing on TikTok, talking about how they want black people to fight for them, you know, fight for the whites, the Hispanics, and everybody else. And when they, you know, say, oh, well, black people, we mean the Africans, the people that identify with African, they want them out there. So you see the pipeline. They want to bully us into identifying as African. Because we already know when people think black, they think African. And then they want to go and try to bully us and those that identify as African into fighting their battles. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Okay? I would never. Exactly. I don't identify as black, indigenous, and I get it. Do you, me asking how you identify? Yes, I identify as an origine. Okay, take the A, B off aborigine and you get origine. That's how I identify. Original of America. That's how I identify. Okay, and I do have mixed heritage. I have Choctaw, French, and technically, it's not a race, but I claim it as a cultural heritage of mine. And I have other nations I come from too, but I don't feel like naming all of them because then I start sounding like a science experiment. Yeah, they want us over there all in their booty hole, just all up in they. You know, when these rappers talking about I'ma eat his gooch, I get quiet. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing nobody gooch. Like, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna look over here. Okay. Good with that. Okay. So, yes. I'm not gonna sit here and let people bully me into being silent. Early days of YouTube, and when I was like first getting into like genealogy and stuff, I had so many like idea plans. I would just, research and just post online, and people would just get so mad at me, especially people in our community too. Like they would just try like to bully me and to stop talking about it. And when I did like cave in and I stopped like talking about it, guess what they did? All of a sudden now they want to talk about Australoids and Melanesians and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, you wanted it. So you can talk about the very things I've been talking about and to come off as the expert in these fields. Like, once I really called on that, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'm not going to let people bully me into being silent. You live and you learn. Because I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be upfront. Well, I'll say a lot because it wasn't like a lot of people, but a few of these people that y'all seen in the early days talking about, indigenous history and all this other stuff, they be in my inbox talking like mad crap to me, talking about, oh, well, why are you talking about Australia? We're in Australia, la, 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 la. Meanwhile, I'm just sharing things that I have learned. You don't have to like agree with it, but I like reading like older books of the napkins talking about our people, because it really does put things more into perspective. And then this very same person, or should I say people, started posting the very things I was talking about. I was like, okay, I see how this is. So there's haters everywhere. Be people trying to dim your light, and you should never let them win. Honestly, my channel could be way bigger than what it is now, but I spent too much listening to people that wanted to humble me all the time. I like, for some reason, people that like are haters are like drawn to me. They want to get close to me just to humble me. I can't tell y'all the amount of times where men and women get close to me, and then they just start saying stuff like, oh, you always had it easy, you never suffered, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, it's time to get rid of you. It's time to get rid of you. Because you already making assumptions, and you don't even know that long to even say that. So I don't deal with that anymore. So like commenting on like my life, like it's always been like sunshine and rainbows, I gotta go. I'm not staying around you. You can't stay around me. And if I leave, I will leave. Because there are like deranged people out here. There's people that can't stand you but can't leave you alone either. It's really weird. It's like they want to siphon off your energy. They want to be energy vampires. They don't like you, but they like the attention that they get with you. I remember this girl, she wanted me to like help her like be in her soft life, like, pretty much like help her rest in her femininity, because I pretty much like rest in my femininity all the time, especially if I have to like get a masculine energy to like hustle mode and stuff like that. I would still balance it out like with my feminine energy. It's all about balancing. It's not being masculine or feminine. Like, you gotta balance like both energies. Even when you are stressed out, even when you're going through stuff, like, you can still handle the situation with poise, elegance, class. That's what really defines like your femininity too as a woman. And you know, this girl, like, she was just weird. She was just weird. We went to the nail salon. I think I might tell y'all guys this, but we went to the nail salon and I had on a skirt and I was getting like my toes in, and she was too. She was like right next to me. And the lady, like, she gets like a towel and like put it in my lap. I was like, oh, I wonder why, like, she, you know, put a towel in my lap. She's like, it's because you're dressed like a slut. Excuse you? Girl, what? And then like she looks around and seeing like the other ladies there, mind you, like it was mostly like white women there, and she was seeing them like in shorts and skirts, and she was like, then she was like, oh, well, I want to wear a skirt too. And it's like, no, like nothing's stopping you from wearing a skirt, boo, but you. Like, you didn't have to be a hater. Like, you know, and to look around and see like other white women wear skirts like me and be like, oh, well, I want to wear one. Like, so now you just follow the leader. Okay. Hey, y'all. Could you identify as Aboriginal if you only heard one side of your family claim, even if it's the maternal side? Yeah, I don't see why not. You couldn't claim to be Aboriginal. Like, honestly, identity is to you, okay? You have the power to identify as what you want to identify as. I know a lot of people talk about like DNA tests and DNA ancestry tests, but those tests don't tell you everything about your ancestry. Especially if you come from like different ethnic backgrounds or different cultures, that DNA ancestry test is not going to capture all that. Because you could have came from different groups of people, but that DNA ancestry test may only talk about only 2 groups, when you could have came from 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever, you know. So it's just, it all depends on you, you know. I'm not in the business of telling people how to identify. I just help people learn more about their ancestry. That's all. Genealogy gems. Speaking of genealogy gems, if you join my Patreon, and I believe it's the expert tier. The expert tier, you'll get access to all my ebooks and my genealogy. So definitely check that out. And I also have other exclusive content on there too. Definitely check out my Patreon for more. Y'all, I have so much material for y'all, but I just never promote them. I don't know why I don't. And I have to like remind myself like, oh yeah, I have this. I don't know why I don't tell y'all, but now you know. Because I have ebooks on how to find your American Indian ancestry. I think I also have an ebook on how to research Black American ancestry. And also have an ebook on how to break brick walls when it comes to paper genocide. So, you know, definitely check that out. If you have hit a brick wall because your ancestor was reclassified many times, I'll give you steps and tips and tricks on how to overcome that. So check out my Patreon. The link is in my about section of my YouTube. Yes, exactly. And also too, I noticed with indigenous nations in the South, like we were really the first ones to have like, I don't want to say like a vacation home, but it kind of like gives that vibe in a way, because everybody be like, oh, well, you know, white people have like a home and then they have like a vacation home somewhere in the tropics. Like, we did that first. You have a home in your area, and then when it gets hotter, you move closer to the water where it's more hot. And then we like had different building structures for that climate. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah. It's so much stuff that we did first and people just don't know. Exactly. The United States and people that work for it, they get paid continuously when people believe in the lies and the stories that they tell. They always getting money. Yes. So, but yeah, I would never apologize for who I am. And it's just like really disgusting how like people want us to be silent about who we are. And they know that with power that we seek is really within our ancestry. I don't know if I told y'all guys this, I may have, but I'm gonna reiterate it. I remember like this Hispanic man, this Latino man, whatever. I don't know like if he was from Mexico or what, but he was taking me home because I like booked a ride or whatever. And me and him were just like talking, and I was just talking about how like my elders, taught me the land, and they, taught me what herbs to eat. I don't know how we got on that subject. I don't know if like because we saw like a flower on the side of the road or something. I don't know. And then he was like, oh, you're Native American. And I was like, yeah, I'm not, because y'all know me. I'm not going to sit there and do like a whole dissertation on colonial terms and what to identify as. I'm not going to argue with people. I really don't care. And I know some people would sit there and just go off the runs like, I'm Native, I'm American Indian, I'm not that. Like, I honestly, I don't care. Like, yeah. And sometimes I would just be like, oh, well, yeah, I'm American Indian, yeah. To kind of subtly let them know, like, I identify as American Indian, not Native American. But I do understand what you're, going with this. I understand where you're coming from with that. But I'm not going to argue with people. I'm not going to go back and forth about how to identify and what I identify as. Especially with a man I don't really know. And I'm just catching a ride. So, but yeah, a lot of Hispanic people know. They know. I didn't have to sit there and tell him that I'm indigenous. He already knew. He could tell by the way I was talking about my elders, what plants and herbs I knew to eat and what not to eat and stuff like that. So people know. They just don't want you to know. Hey, Skywalker, how you doing? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I tell people all the time, like, if you're like going through it with people trying to like tell you who you are and stuff like that, just naturally be yourself. That's gonna hurt them at their core. It's gonna they go, oh, chest hurt and just knees to the ground, sideways, bang, they gone, you know. People get so mad when you are just in tune with yourself. Okay, genealogy gems. Okay, catch it. I remember I used to work at this place, and it was like this Hispanic dude. He looked Asian, but we already know why some Hispanic. Uh-oh, are y'all there? Can y'all see me? My alarm went off. What happened? Oh, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Put a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all are so funny. There was like sis going in, but no sound. Okay, let me start over. Okay, I'm pretty sure y'all didn't hear all what I said. So let me start off from the top. Okay, so I used to work at a power plant with this Hispanic dude. Well, just him. It was him, like this mixed guy. He was Hispanic and white, but we already know pretty much a mixed white person. And it was like this other white dude. And occasionally, like, to come in and work overtime with us. And so the Hispanic dude, by the way, that looks Asian too, because we already know why a lot of Hispanic people look Asian. Cough, cough, Manila. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go deep into that. But he would just sit there and try like to make fun of my heritage. He would be like, "Oh, you sure you're not black? You sure you're not African? Why I'm claiming to be African? I come from tribe Slapaho." Yeah, I know. And the crazy thing is, I couldn't report him to HR because HR is not for the girls. HR is not for the girl. I ended up like reporting my supervisor, and they reassigned me to a different site. It's a different story. And it was something separate from that. But he would just always like make jokes about like my race and my. So you remember how I told y'all guys I talk about my heritage and the thing that we practice and things that we do, right? My auntie, she has a lot of Mesoamerican art in her house, and she also has a pair of moccasins. So I took a picture of the moccasins too. And mind you, her moccasins are pretty much worn out. Okay, she has been wearing them down. And so just like one day I just showed a picture. I'm like, "Oh, look at my aunt moccasins. Ain't this so cute? Look at it. I just love it." She said she's gonna buy me a pair like this coming winter for Christmas or even for my birthday. Y'all, he was so salty. He was so salty. He looked, pretend this is my phone. He was like, he looked at it and looked away because he was mad. And after that, he stopped talking to me about my heritage. He didn't bring it up no more. You see, when you embrace who you are authentically, they could try to come for you. But when you actually practice what you preach, they get quiet. That shh, ain't no back talk. And I love it. I was like, "Oh, what's wrong? You getting quiet?" "Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you think they cute?" You already know. I ain't playing with it. I ain't playing with you. Okay? So I have no problem, no problemo telling a mofo about my culture, my ancestry. Because that's all me, baby. And I'm proud of who I am, who I descend from, all that other good stuff. Because people will try to make you feel bad about embracing your indigenous heritage until they realize that you actually live the way of your ancestors. And although most of my family, I'm not gonna cap, most of my family do identify as black. They identify with the black demographic. And given that most of my family members are old, they're like pretty much elders, it's understandable. Although my grandparents did not necessarily identify as black, they identified with their indigenous heritage, but yet their children are as the black demographic. I get it. I see the disconnect. Because a lot of, like, even my mom grew up in the I'm black and I'm proud era. So elder that grew up in the civil rights era, it's a no-brainer that they would probably identify as black. But although my family identifies as black, they their indigenous cultures. They still embrace like Mexican heritage. They won't like fly the flag or whatever, but they be cooking them dishes. Okay? My aunt has Mesoamerican art all over her house. So they probably don't fully like understand their culture or culture that they come from, but they still practice and believe in it. And this is why I stand really tall. I talk the way I do. Because although they may be limited to the colonial terms that were given to us, I ain't. I don't have to identify with colonial terms if I don't want to. And, people get mad at me when, I say that, but it's just true. I don't have to identify with colonial terms. And once you come to that realization that you don't have to identify with terms like in black, colored, Negro, whatever, you set your mind free. Because you're not putting yourself in the box that colonizers forcibly put you and your ancestors in. Okay, my grandma said that too, both of them. Uh, do you see people call white people white Americans or European Americans? I have seen them call them European Americans, but I like to call them African Americans because I just like it. I also like calling them Mayo monsters too. Mayo monsters, they coming to get you. Mayo monsters. I'm making reference to the... Okay, well, you talking to somebody else. Yeah, they napkins. Okay. So yeah, I just those type of games. Because you try to play with me, you're going to be crying. You're going to be silenced. Were you silent or silenced? You're going to be questioning. You're going to be asking yourself that when you try to question my ethnicity and race. Okay? Okay, so I'm not... Honestly, we just have fans, y'all. These folks are just fans. They just can't help themselves. Okay? He a fan, he a fan, he a fan. They just mad because they fans and they don't know how to express themselves without being rude. So, yeah, I take researching people's genealogy very seriously because I remember being so overwhelmed doing my genealogy research. I remember feeling so frustrated because I couldn't find much documentation on my ancestry. When I first started, I had a man named Elijah. I say him around, but he like initially helped me, but he was only able to come across like my parents' what they call it, marriage certificate or something. And I was like, okay. And then I kept going. And then, Tasha, she would help me from time to time. And I was like, why am I not finding much information on my ancestors? And it like, there used to be times where I used to think that like my there's like hop the border. I was like, why am I finding this information, not more information? It just doesn't make any sense. But one day it changed. I started getting more documents being shown to me through ancestry.com. And as I acquired more information about my family, it really started to come together for me. So, don't give up. Don't give up. Because there's people that want you to give up, okay? Just don't. You're always going to have people hating on you because they want to be you, or they don't want you to step into your power. Genealogy gems, okay? Yeah, a lot of people piss me off with the disrespect. They don't know why our families did what they did. I understand now why my family in particular didn't identify with it for years till I found, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why it's important to learn, your ancestry and stories about, your family members and stuff, because you'll learn more about your family lineages. And I know nowadays people talk about breaking generations, and it's like very like popular nowadays, but people need to understand and realize is you're not going to break those curses if you don't even understand what curse you need to break. You need to have an idea. You need to pinpoint it, because you have like the immediate family curses that you probably are aware of, but you don't know just how far back it goes, or it comes from another family curse or whatever. So, people talking about breaking family curses, but you got to figure out as many those that affect your family, because if you just think that one affects your family, then and you got like 10 more, I mean, it may help, but you got a lot to go. Would you be open to doing a video showing an example of using the Library of Congress to research Indigenous and Black American ancestry? I actually have a YouTube short going over it. Also, too, in the Library of Congress, they have a section on the website where you can actually talk to, like, I think like a librarian or something, and they will help you with your genealogy research. I'm gonna check that out. Where do all these trolls be outside? Because no one outside never challenges me on my identity on the internet, never in person or in the street. Yeah, because they're scared. Like, people challenge me because I'm shorter and I'm a woman. So they think it's easier to mess with me. They think I'm an easier target. So they realize they're not going to get anywhere with me. Yeah, so there's just so much information out here. And I just hate that we're surrounded by people that don't want us to look into it. They're, they're trying to block us from getting information. Is either closed-minded or don't want us to fully know our power, and probably even both. So so yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and go because I'm ready to eat. Oh, I've been on here for an hour and 7 minutes. I was never intended to be here that long. So I'm ready to go eat. And then I got things to do today. But I love y'all guys. Stay true to yourself. Because there's that are counting on your downfall. So just remember that. Be sure to check out my Patreon for genealogy research resources. I have tons of tools and tips and tricks on how to help you with your ancestry, so definitely check it out. I have so much other exclusive content. I've been posting on there more now, so definitely check it out. Still coming out with my American Indian food. I hired a video editor, and this man was just playing in my face. It makes me so mad, but I got my money back, okay? Because I'm not playing. I'm not playing. When I tell you to do something, I need you to do it how I told you to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if you don't know what you're doing, move out the way. Okay, I don't play like when I try to find people to help me grow and expand my channel and like delegate tasks to, it's just no, oh well, I'm just gonna pick you. No, I need to see what you're about. Okay, I need to see if you gonna do what I need you to do, because I don't play when it comes to my audience. Okay, like you trying to put stock images of indigenous people in my video, I can't do that. You're not gonna do that. Give me my money. If you ain't gonna put the approved pictures that I told you to put in there, you are done. You're done. You're done. Okay? So, anyway, that's enough for that. Be sure to check out my Discovering American Genealogy book on Amazon. Don't forget the Patreon. Okay? Follow me on there if you don't have the funds to join the membership, because I still have advice on how to help you research your genealogy effectively. So I love y'all guys, and I'll see you in the next one.